Good evening, family tonight. Welcome to the entrust on Zoom, and we will begin with the Dharma by Jenn.
Dharma glimpse by Jenn. I'm only just getting to grips with what a glimpse is. A question surfaces for me, which is, so what? If I glimpse some greater truth or wisdom, or I learn something, does it matter if I'm not altered by it in some way? What hides underneath this question is an experience I had last night. I had a stomach upset on Monday and Tuesday, and I had to take a little bit of time off work. I struggle with this, and I have a lot of self-critical and harsh thoughts about myself when I'm sick. To avoid feeling self-criticized when I'm unwell, I very often say to myself, right, mind over matter, you're not being sick anymore, just get up and get going. I've had a glimpse about this before, about how this way I'm so unkind to myself as a way to protect myself. I have parts that are so scared that if I'm not working really hard, people will say I'm useless, worthless, rubbish. I also know that I've never, not once, been able to force myself to get better from willpower. And I've never, not once, stopped trying to manage it. And failing to be able to make myself better by the sheer power of my own desire is a sure route to feeling even more rubbish. Anyway, I'm over the stomach upset now, but I went back to work and did too much too soon. And last night I was feeling totally worn out and unwell, and my inner critics were saying, you're so lazy, I bet you were just pretending to be ill anyway. And another part of me said, no, I really was ill, but I worked really hard. Here's a big list of all the things I did. And another part said, maybe it's true that I wasn't really sick at all. Maybe I was just pretending. That would be a terrible thing to do. Perhaps I'm a terrible person. And another part of me said, here we go again. You always do this when you're ill, and you're doing it again. And in the midst of all this noise and chatter, I started wondering about glimpsing. I think I'd hoped the last time that I had this glimpse of wisdom about myself, about what I did when I was sick and when I did it, then I'd stop doing it. And last night I learned that despite the glimpsing, I hadn't really changed. I guess what did change was the tone of voice. When I said to myself, here we go again, it's this thing you do when you're ill, the voice sounded a little bit kinder and a bit more amused than it usually does. And giving myself 5 minutes to do my usual crazy thing, knowing there was some good reason for me doing it, then I went to sleep. So perhaps I can put this down to a half glimpse.
Thank you, well remembered. So we'll do some meditation together. No instructions today, Namo meet.
Mani Padme Hum Hri. Om 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 Mani Padme Hum breathe. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Breathe. Om Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Breathe. 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Breathe.
For refuge, I go to Amida,
For refuge, I go to Amida.
the one who is awake and full of love.
The one who is like full of love.
For refuge, I go to the Dharma,
For refuge, I go to the Dharma.
all that guides us to wisdom and compassion.
All that guides us to wisdom and compassion.
For refuge, I go to the Sangha,
For refuge, I go to Sangha.
those who live in the Buddha's light,
Those who live in the Buddha's light.
with faith in the three jewels.
With faith in the three jewels.
I pray that I may not take life.
I pray that I may not take life.
With faith in the three jewels.
With faith in the three jewels.
I pray that I may not steal.
I pray that I may not steal.
With faith in the three jewels.
With faith in the three jewels.
I pray that I may not fall into sexual misconduct.
I pray that I may not fall into sexual misconduct.
With faith in the three jewels.
With faith in the three jewels.
I pray that I may not fall into wrong speech.
I pray that I may not fall into wrong speech.
With faith in the three jewels.
With faith in the three jewels.
I pray that I may avoid intoxication.
I pray that I may avoid intoxication.
No blame.
No blame.
Be kind.
Be kind.
Love everything.
Love everything.
Innumerable are sentient beings.
We vow to serve them all.
Inexhaustible are deluded passions.
We vow to transform.
Immeasurable are teaching.
We vow to master all.
Infinite is the Buddha's way.
We vow to fulfill it completely. So my Dharma talk this evening is about bread rolls. We've had 2 bread rolls in a plastic bag hanging around in our kitchen for a couple of days. I got them out a couple of days ago from the freezer, thinking that we'd have them for lunch. And I squeezed them later and I thought, oh, they're not very nice, these bread rolls. They were a bit sort of too crusty. And when I picked them out at the supermarket, I had doubts about them then as well. So instead, we went to a very expensive bread shop on our walk that day and bought some very nice sourdough bread and had that for lunch. And then today, they were still there, looking a little bit sorry for themselves. I can't remember whose I think we both had the idea independently, but we thought we'd have beans on toast for tea. And so cut the rolls up and toasted them a little bit and put some butter on, put some adulterated beans on with extra fried onions and smoked paprika, some applewood vegan cheese sprinkled on top under the grill, nice and bubbly. And they were delicious. They were really delicious. End of Dharma talk. There's not much more. Makes me think of the quote from Shinran. Shinran spoke about how Amida turns bits of rubble into gold. And we are the bits of rubble, or we contain the bits of rubble. Or everything is the rubble, everything in the world. And when Amida's light shines on it, it turns it into something precious. Just as we turned 2 tired bread rolls into something precious. So this is something that we can bear in mind when we are encountering tired bread rolls or bits of rubble We might just want to pause for a second before we write something off or judge it or dismiss it, and just wonder what it might look like through Amida's eyes, wonder what it might look like with Amida's light shining on it. Maybe it's an experience that we had that was painful, but that actually has brought us some wisdom that we might not have received in any other way. Maybe it's somebody in our life who's quite challenging, who's showing us things about ourselves that we wouldn't be able to see otherwise. Whatever it is, just stay open for a little bit longer to the idea that it may just be a gift. It may just be beautiful in its own way, but it may be gold. Namo Midbu.
In gratitude, we dedicate the merits of this incense offering to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas throughout space and time. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting our careful efforts, our wholehearted awareness, and the fruit of understanding slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home.
Namo Midbu. So do return your seats. And we finish by bowing to each other. Closing verse. Blessed by Tathagata's light, may we have all living things on the holy earth. Namo me taboo. I'm not going to tell you about the Bodhi today because everyone already knows about it.
I wonder about just saying to people about the vows as they come in, as it's just regulars here this evening.
Yeah. So I'll just stop the recording.